Hey, what's up, everyone? Ralph here. So more and more Gen Zers are starting to come to the realization that life is not what they expected it to be. Right? They had this idea that if they go to college for 4 years, get that degree, then the world of opportunities would open up to them. Right? They get the job that they want. They'd be able to eventually buy the home that they want, have the family that they want. That this world of opportunities would be opened up to them. And they're quickly realizing that that's not the case, right? That the job opportunities aren't there, the amount of money that they're expecting is not there. So they had this expectation of what their life could be if they just attain that degree, and they're learning quickly that that's not the case. So where does it come from, right? Because obviously, from high school leading up to college, you're told get that degree, that success starts with that degree, right? Even when you step on the college campus, you see the banners, you see the posters, you see the people, and you see all the signs that says the road to success starts here. Success starts with that degree, right? They fill you all this expectation that as long as you grind, you work your butt, grind your butt off just to get that degree, that success will be available to you once you attain that degree. And you learn very quickly, once you graduate and you step into the workforce, that that is not life, right? I can remember being in college and you get all this information, you see all that, and then going in, you're like, I remember each semester I'm starting to think why am I taking these classes? I think these classes are stupid. They have no bearing on what I want to do with my life. Why am I taking these classes? And of course no one can come up with that answer. So all these things are all these thoughts that you're thinking to yourself is man, I know I'm not crazy. I know the stuff that we're learning here it seems to be, to me, it seems useless, but no one can give you that answer. And it wasn't until I graduated and then, read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, where it answered a lot of my questions. And then I was like, okay, boom. All right, this is now it makes sense to me. And for me, it wasn't that hard to deal with the reality, because now I had something to fight for, right? I knew entrepreneurship was something that I wanted to attain, and I was working towards that. So it gave me purpose in what I wanted to fight for. But I think for a lot of these young, these Gen Zers, they put all the eggs in that basket, right? They went 4 or 5 years to get that degree, and they're finding that I worked so hard. I went 4 years busting my butt, got the degree, and I'm finding that the opportunities aren't there. The ones that these opportunities that were promised to me, right? And they're finding it is not there. So they threw all the eggs in that basket, and now they're dejected and okay, what am I supposed to do next? Because I used up 4 years. I put in a lot of work for this degree, and I'm finding that this degree is basically useless. And that leads me to this article on Business Insider, where it says, meet the disconnected youth, a growing group of Gen Zers who aren't working or going to school. So basically, the definition for the way they define disconnected youth is an adult that's neither working or going to school. All right, so it's both. So they're finding that you're finding a lot of youth that are in this category where they're not going to school and they're not working. Obviously, that's not a good thing, because obviously you want young people to work. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, when it comes to the whole schooling thing, I think that's a good thing, right? Now, obviously, you want your society educated, but you want them with the right education. You don't want to just be filling that stuff with nonsense that they're not going to use in their life. That's not going to have any impact in their life, right? You want to make sure that they're learning skills and that they can use to help better their life. But the stuff that we're learning now is clearly useless. People are graduating college and then they're not even using the degrees that they graduated with, right? They have no skills, they have no experience, so they're not making the money that they need to in order to survive this world of this economy of inflation. And be honest, I think the fact that less and less people are going to college, I think is a good thing, because I think we got it. I've been thinking about this, right? I think we've got this thing all wrong, right? We from high school, we're told to go to college to get that degree so that we can get a job. But then when you enter the workforce, they say you don't have experience, right? Because that doesn't make sense, right? I mean, now that you graduate, obviously it makes sense to if you're an older person, a more mature person, you understand that degree doesn't mean you have skills, right? You have to develop the skills. So I think it's important for, especially going forward, instead of telling kids, you know what, after high school, go get an education, go to college, I think kids should be going right after, at 18, right out of high school, start going to work, right? Go to work, even 16, whatever it is, age to work, get to work, right? Develop some skills, develop some experience, learn what you want to do, right? Find out the things that you like, find out the things that you don't like, and then develop those skills. And then when you say that you find out, you figure out what you want to do, what career path you want to go to, and you're working and you're developing the skills in that career path, then of course, you're going to eventually want to make more money. You want to climb that ladder. Your boss, your employer is going to say, all right, you need this certification, or you need this degree, you need this level of education. Then you can then go back and say, okay, where do I go to get that? Whether it's a community college or a university, wherever it is, where I can get that degree, so that I can attain that level position where I can make more money, right? And it makes more sense, because then now you're more mature, you have an idea what you want to do, and then while you're working towards that degree or certification, you can then pay for it, right, while you work, instead of saying, oh, let's get the government money pay for you, and then you have a whole bunch of debt, right? Because it makes no sense now that we have high school students at the age of 18 getting tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt. It makes no sense. They have no idea what they're doing. They should be getting guidance, obviously, from the parents. They should be getting guidance from their guidance counselor. But we're finding that that's not the case, right? Because you see more and more kids getting into college, acquiring more debt, and then saying they have no idea what they want to do, right? And then they're out here begging the government to obviously pay off their loans, right? And so we have to, I think we need to change the way we talk about that, because it makes no sense that people are going to school for 4 years, enter the workforce, and they find out, they don't have the experience, and now they can't make money, but yet they have a whole bunch of student loan debt. So I think we need to change the way that is. I think right out of high school, you should be working, developing skills, developing experience, finding out what you want to do, finding out what you want to do with your life, find out what career you want to get into. And then once you're moving up that corporate ladder, then you can say, all right, you know what, I need this certification or this degree in order to get this higher level skill position, so I can make more money. Because it's all about developing skills. The focus should be making money. And you see, like I said, these youth are getting more disconnected because they're finding out that these opportunities aren't there. So you look at this graph, it says what? Share of disconnected youth ages 18 to 24. It's gone up, right? It's gone up since 2000, where it was at 10.3%. And then now it's gone up, at a high of 13.8, but now it's at 13.2% in 2022. So you see it's continued to grow, and you're getting more and more people where they're at a point where it's like, you know what, what's the point, right? I'm seeing what in this workforce that there's not enough money, like when it comes to like, all right, starting wage, like they're not paying enough, right? You see the inflation the way it is, like things are so expensive, and you're looking at kids coming in there, young kids coming in and saying, yo, this is not enough. What's the point? And especially if you think about social media, you got the news where people are saying that these jobs are not paying fair wages, right? So when you hear that as a youth, you're like, what's the point of me going out there when I know they're not going to pay me what I need in order to make it out in this economy? So they're getting to a point where it's like, I don't want to even participate. And that's not a good thing, because you want the youth to be working. You want them to be participating in society, contributing and doing and being productive members of society. And of course, if they're not going to school, which is, I'm like to say, it's not always a bad thing, depending on what you want to do. But them just getting to a point where they're not even producing, they're just staying at home, just doing nothing. That's obviously not what you want, because obviously that leads to all types of issues, especially when it comes to your health. You want people out there being active, participating in society, actually having a purpose, and they're finding it's very hard and very difficult to do that, especially in today's economy where everything is so expensive. So it's not a good thing. Like, we don't want that in our society, and they've been so dislied that, like I said, go to school for 4 years, get that degree, and then the world of opportunities will open up to you, right? And they're finding out very quickly that is not the case. There's not many opportunities. And for me, like, it's hard to have that kind of mentality, right? Where you just give up, right? You don't want to just give up, right? For me, like, it was easy for me. Like, I don't have that mentality. And maybe you're watching this, you probably don't have that mentality. But there's a lot of people out there that do, where they just say, you know what? I had an expectation of the way my life was supposed to be, and I'm finding it that's not there, right? And they're like, what's the point? Like me, my mentality is like, all right, I got to figure out how to get through this. How do I succeed at this, right? Whether I got to do a side gig, start a business, whatever it is I have to do to succeed, that's what I'm gonna do. But you're having a lot of people, especially in the younger demographic, where they're just like, you know what? What's the point? Like, I don't even want to try, and that's such a sad mentality to have, because that's not, you're so young. You should be full of energy, full of ambition to be like, I want to be successful. And the fact that you just figure out that life is not what you thought it would be, and that's all it takes for you to just opt out. And that's a sad thing. So hopefully, we got to figure this out. And obviously, it's important to make sure we're doing the right things. To make sure we're successful. Educating ourselves to do the right thing, and making sure, especially, make sure you vote for the right people, because obviously, this economy the way it is right now, the people that are in office aren't getting it done, right? So that's going to be important as well. So those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. Right? So guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.